You know that feeling when the room is full of possibility, but the clock keeps ticking like a metronome you can't change? That's where Shedeur Sanders is right now. A rookie with a headline-sized last name, an arm people talk about in hushed, excited tones, and a job description that currently reads Scout Team Quarterback. It's a weird paradox. Enormous upside, yet a place on the depth chart that feels small and stubborn. This is his story for the moment, and what it means for the Browns, for the other quarterbacks in that room, and for anyone who's trying to predict how the next chapter unfolds. Open on a quiet practice field. The big lights are off. Shedeur throws. The ball arcs, lands, and the coach nods. Off camera, Mary Kay Cabot's voice cuts in. He's getting plenty of time to throw the ball. He feels ready. That's the kernel of today's update. Shedeur is working. He's improving. He's getting reps. Yet the job he wants, the one his family, his brand, and his followers dream about, remains parked behind Joe Flacco's locker. Let's be blunt. The Browns signed a veteran starter for a reason. Joe Flacco at 40 is a known commodity. He's steady when the line holds, pragmatic when protection crumbles, and capable of steering the ship through churn. Right now, with a rough early schedule and roster questions, Cleveland is valuing experience over experimentation. Cabot's assessment is practical. I think it depends on how Joe looks over the next couple of weeks. I don't think they're in any rush to get Dillon out there. In other words, the Browns are buying time, and that time shapes Shedeur's present. So what's the problem? It's not talent. Shedeur's superpower, as Cabot put it, is elite accuracy, that uncanny touch that lets a QB lift a ball over a jumped route or slide a pass into the seam with velvet timing. Those are real gifts. But raw accuracy alone doesn't win starting jobs overnight. NFL offenses are ecosystems. Line chemistry, play caller trust, running game efficiency, and situational awareness all converge. The Browns are threading those needles now, which is why a rookie, even one with the pedigree and polish of Shedeur, can be relegated to carving out minutes on the scout team. Pause and zoom out. Two other names matter here: Dillon Gabriel and Deshaun Watson. Gabriel is the most immediate internal backup with some live action experience. Watson is the elephant in the room, injured, unpredictable, and potentially off the board for months. If Flacco were to falter, the arrowhead-sized question is simple. Do you hand the keys to Gabriel or hand them to Shedeur? Right now, the staff seems to be leaning toward Gabriel as the more immediate bridge. That's an important detail. It tells us what the Browns value in an emergency starter: readiness, game smarts, and a lower developmental volatility. But let's not pretend sheer readiness equals long-term upside. Shedeur has upside in spades. He's clean with mechanics, he has a short, repeatable release, and his vision, the kind that scouts drool over, is real. If you're a GM looking to build a franchise quarterback, you keep guys like that around and you don't force-feed them into a stew they're not ready to digest. The Browns have the option to protect his growth by limiting exposure and letting him learn. That's a luxury and a responsibility. Now let's get tactical. What would change the timeline? There are three clear triggers: injury, irreparable decline in Flacco's play, or the team deciding to accelerate a rebuild and intentionally give a rookie reps as the primary evaluation period. Injury is painfully literal. An absence to Joe opens the door fast. Performance erosion is trickier. It requires sustained poor outcomes across multiple games. And organizational philosophy is the most political. Do the Browns prioritize short-term wins, or do they accept short-term losses to potentially accelerate Shedeur's maturation? Right now, the scales tilt toward the former. There's nuance in Cabot's reporting worth parsing. Shedeur feels ready, she says. That's more than PR speak. It indicates confidence, comfort with the playbook, and a mental state that is coaching gold. But ready is a spectrum. I can be mentally ready and still not ready for the tempo of NFL game planning. The pads, the noise, the blitz disguises, those are accelerants that test even veteran reflexes. So the coaching staff's protective instinct is not about gatekeeping, it's risk management. We should also talk about the irresistible satellite around Shedeur's name, Coach Prime. Having a high-profile father injects national attention and creates expectations that are often impossible to reconcile with team needs. Deion Sanders' proclamations that his son would do this or that are powerful PR. They build audience, they sell jerseys, and they create pressure. But NFL front offices operate on tape, not tweets. The Browns must balance the marketing upside with the football pragmatism. Handling that tension elegantly is the art of modern roster management. What should Shedeur do while waiting? 3 things, and this is a blueprint worthy of any young quarterback. 1. Dominate the scout team narrative. Every practice rep is film. Dominate the reads, teach the team, lead the cadence. Make coaches look at you and think replacement, not experiment. 2. Carve a developmental edge. Add NFL-specific footwork, sharpen pre-snap adjustments, and polish tempo management. Physical gifts plateau without NFL situational polish. 3. Manage the brand wisely. Be present, be measured, and let on-field play drive conversation. A viral outburst looks great once. Consistent availability and professionalism build career longevity. For the Browns, a thoughtful plan is to keep Flacco as a short-term anchor while installing real measurable development checkpoints for both Gabriel and Shedeur. Give Gabriel controlled game moments that matter, but don't make or break seasons, and give Shedeur a staged progression. Scripted plays in low-leverage moments, design third-down packages, and situational 2-minute drives where the staff can evaluate under stress without burning the house down. That's the middle path. It mitigates risk, preserves the team's competitive posture, and still accelerates talent discovery. But let's not avert our eyes from the market reality. If by mid-season the Browns are trending toward a rebuild, or if Shedeur lights up the scout tape so incandescently that the asking price for a trade would be enormous, the franchise will have a very different set of decisions to make. The NFL's calendar is a machine that forces choices. The Browns can either be reactive, waiting for the crisis, or proactive, staging a transition with clarity. We end with a moment. Shedeur throws into the fading light. The ball lands where it should. He wipes sweat from his brow, takes a breath, and smiles. Not arrogance, but calm. That's the honest image. The rookie's future isn't determined by one quote or one practice or one viral moment. It's a compound. Reps, patience, health, and organizational will. Cleveland's current message is plain. We'll keep our veteran, we'll develop the young, and we'll wait for the right trigger. If you're betting on heart and mechanics, Shedeur is a promising long shot to become the Browns' answer. If you're betting on timeline and immediate wins, the Browns are doing the safe thing. Either way, watch the small stuff. The kind of throws he makes in practice, the way coaches reference him in meetings, and those quiet moments when the staff gives him meaningful reps in a game. That's where futures are decided. Not in tweets, not in memos, but in the repetitive, ordinary work of getting better. And one last thing, remember the image. A player with a famous name, a patient face, and a finish line that's more marathon than sprint. The story isn't over. It's a raw, slow-building thing. For now, Shedeur waits. He trains, he learns, he throws. And if the stars align, or if the Browns elect to change the storyline, he'll step out of the scout team shadows and into the bright, hard theater where careers are made.